Welcome to episode 632 of the Terry Wilson 3 podcast, where we dig into the latest trends, ideas, and strategies for entrepreneurs and small business owners everywhere. Today's episode is packed with value, inspiration, and a little bit of fun. We're breaking down the world of tariffs, what they are, how they work, and most importantly, what they mean for you as a small business owner. We'll explore how tariffs can be both a challenge and an opportunity, and share practical tips for navigating these shifting policies. But that's not all. Terry has been on the road speaking at youth entrepreneurial events in North Carolina and South Carolina, inspiring the next generation of game changers. Plus, we'll hear about their recent trip to Virginia to catch up with family. We've also got some important advice on how to protect your loved ones from scams, because keeping our community safe is just as important as growing our businesses. And exciting news. Our brand new swag store is live. From fun gifts to inspirational business tools, we've got something for everyone. Stay tuned for our special segments. Business Heroes, where we spotlight difference makers making waves in the business world, and Karen Boloney, where we have some fun calling out the crazy behavior you definitely want to avoid. All of this and more coming up right now on episode 632.
Attention business owners, for a very limited time, we are offering to list your business on over 50 top business directories, completely free. This is a $500 value at no cost to you, but only for a short time. We guarantee you will see an increase in inbound calls, website traffic, and search visibility within just days. Don't miss this opportunity to get your business found fast. Call now to claim your free listing before this offer expires. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Call us now at 864-507-9696. That's 864-507-9696.
Stop dreading the daily commute. Work from home and earn big. Imagine working for giants like Google, Amazon, or Facebook, all from the comfort of your couch. Our work-from-home customer support roles let you make your own schedule so you can balance life and work effortlessly. And here's the best part. No cold calling. Earn hourly and commission, giving you unlimited income potential. You're not just joining a job, you're joining a revolution in how we work. Ready to take control of your career? Head over to terrywilson3.com, chat with our friendly bot, and book your interview today. Your dream job is just a click away.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Well, hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to another episode. Hope you're doing well. Man, it has been busy here at TW3. There is so much to get into. I want to give you guys some value today and talk tariffs for a moment and share my thoughts and context on that and give you guys maybe some pointers for you small business owners out there. Also want to just sort of keep you up to date on what's been going on. It has been super busy. We got all kinds of new things. I've got a new segment I want to share with you. I got two new segments of the show I want to share with you and sort of get that out to you. Made a trip to Virginia and spent some time with family, so that's always fun. We've got some new items here at TW3 to share. We've started something brand new here at TW3 to help just add more value to our community. That's what it's about. You know, adding value is what we're wanting to do, because as we add value to you, it adds value to the community, and it just builds and grows the business. So that has been, it's been breakneck speed, I guess is what I could say, what's been going on. And it's been good. And to be honest with you, I have found myself a little bit in this new thing of just what I guess they call a flow state, where you're just creative and things are just firing, Synapses is firing and all of this. Part of it is new technology. Part of it is just new strategies and concepts that are happening. Part of it is just new things, problems that we're able to solve for ourselves and other people. I tell you, if you are bored, start a business. If you lack excitement, start a business. If you need some go-go energy and thrills to living, have a business. Start a business in 2025. It is just It's been great. It really has, it's now doesn't mean we're hitting home runs all the time, but we're making some solid contact, making bases, scoring some runs, to use a baseball metaphor, a little small ball at times. But hey, a couple weeks ago, hit a grand slam and about to potentially hit another one. So it is just, from in this business, from 2015 up to around 2021, it was sort of the same game. The runs were made the same way. It was by the same batters. It was with the same strategy. What's making it exciting now is we're seeing things happen from, the bat boy that got up and, it's just, but isn't that how life is? You just assume this is how it's going to work out. This is what it's going to look like. This, and then God, the Bible says that God sits up in the heavens and laughs. Well, I understand how and why now, because he sees me making plans and imagining what it's going to look like, and then boom, completely different. So, said all I'd say, it has been fun. But I do have a brand new segment called Business Heroes. Business Heroes. And this week's Business Heroes is by a company that's a national brand, but this is actually a locally owned franchise that's just launching by a good friend of mine and new acquaintances of mine. And I love the story. I love what's going on. I love what they're doing. They're bringing value to the community. One of the business owners, cashed out of one business that they had, built that business, made a lot of money, sold it, parlayed some of that money into a new opportunity and new business that is employing people here in the community and bringing value. And that is our friends over at Duck Donuts here in Boiling Springs, that their soft launch is coming up in a couple days, and I think their hard launch is this Saturday. So Rose Saucier and the other owner groups that I don't know as well, and I apologize for not knowing your name, but we wish you all the best, wish you all the success, and TW3 and our community and everyone involved will be here to cheer you on and hope to see, this to become just one more pillar in our community and one more business that people enjoy frequenting. And let's face it, folks, who don't like a good donut? I mean, it's un-American not to like a good donut. And you're talking to someone who would basically think it's a cuss word if you said anything other than Krispy Kreme. But two of our children are actually working over there, and one of them is training to be a team leader and went down and learned some and brought some samples back to Dad. And I'm fussing at Rose now. I says, I've already plumped up since the hurricane because of some of the disruption in our food supply, having to switch my diet up. It has messed me up. So we're getting back on the straight and narrow to get this 25 extra pounds, 30 pounds that I've picked up since the Hurricane Helene back off of me. But I said, this does not help. This is just another hour on the treadmill, it looks like. But I do want to tell her and her team, congratulations on the new business and wishing you all the success. You are this episode's business hero, and just want to encourage everybody in the local upstate area, go by over in downtown Boiling Springs, which is just right by the McDonald's there and Dickey's Barbecue and the UPS store. I don't know the exact location, but it's all Old Furnace. I think it's the intersection of 9 and Old Furnace right there. But get over there, get you some great donuts. They do. If you're one of those like me that says, I don't like cake donuts, no, you're going to like these. This is completely different. This is like this is frou donuts. It's high end. So get over there and check it out. Check it out. Now, our next segment that this is probably me having too much fun and taking too much liberty, is what we're affectionately referring to our Karen Boloney segment.
Here comes Karen Boloney.
Now, the reason we call it Karen Boloney is because most Karens, as you know, is just full of baloney. And the term Karen is it's become affectionately a term referred to people. It don't have to be a lady, it can be a guy, but just can't get out of their own way. So in business, that happens a lot. We all can get in our own way. And this segment is dedicated to a Karen Boloney that we met a few weeks ago in an undisclosed location that was just wreaking havoc on everyone in the business and wreaking havoc on the employees, the patrons, everyone there, because they didn't get what they want when they wanted it. And so everyone had to pay the price for it. And so I want to encourage my business owners out there, if you're having a Karen Boloney moment, you're not alone. It happens to everyone. But I will tell you, just a little insight, you cannot use rationale, logic, and reason to diffuse that situation because it's all emotionally charged. There is no rationale there. And so the only thing you can do, and you really can't match energy with energy, you have to diffuse it by asking questions and sort of like leading them along out of the public and out of the area and appeasing them, or at least making them feel like they're heard and appeased to a certain point till you can contain it. And so I think if you bow up, while it makes great drama, while it makes great videos to go out on TikTok and all this other stuff, it just it's not the way that's going to effectively, efficiently, and get, because what you want is you want your place of business, your environment, you want that toxic energy out of there as quick as possible. And just matching it, because I mean, let's face it, we all can get in our feelings. I get in my feelings every day. When I feel attacked, when I have a colleague, I feel attacked. When I feel, a family member being attacked, when anybody I care for, I feel like they're being wrongfully treated. It's human nature. Just, well, let's fix that. The problem is, it's not self-serving. It's not in your best interest to take that tack as much, as much as it would feel really, really good, to lop someone's head off. Unfortunately, it's sometimes the worst thing that you can try to do. So I just want to encourage you to, speak soft, speak slow, speak kindly, make them feel like they're heard, even if you don't agree with them, even if you don't feel like it's anything, because it's not just, there's nothing right about it. But you are being strategic in your thinking, and what you're trying to do is get this, handled as quick as possible, or until the police arrive, one or the other. So you have to use psychology. You can't use necessarily blunt, unless it becomes a physical threat, and then you have to do something. Now, in those instances, it's completely different. But what we witnessed in this business, like I said, we're not attacking people. I want my Christian friends and family out there to understand I'll never mention names when I'm introducing these Karen Boloney moments, because it's not about the person. It's about the attitude. It's about the actions. It's about, how we as people can do better to protect ourselves and our friends, our family, our colleagues, the people we work with, the people we go to church with. Because listen, a Karen Boloney moment can happen without warning.
Here comes Karen Boloney, full of drama and a phony.
Full of drama and a phony.
Playing it's a game, always casting the blame. She's never wrong.
She's never wrong. Boy, we can all get that way sometimes, can't we? Yeah. So it's not about a person. It's not about an individual. It's about an attitude that we all have to guard ourselves against, and guard against for other people trying to enter our space. So that was your Karen Boloney moment. Now I want to give you a couple pointers, and just give you some insights on something you might have seen online that if you're not cognizant of, especially if you've got older family and friends that are perusing the internet. There's one thing that I have picked up on. Me and my children a lot are talking about the differences in attitudes, understandings, and the way the different generations view certain things. And I think that's made for a bone of contention online, especially, more and more I'm seeing some of these heated conversations and disagreements, not along ideology, political ideology, or even religious ideology, but more just generational understanding and attitudes. And as the older I get, the more I appreciate how the world is completely different for so many different people. If you were raised in one generation, your experiences, what you experienced in your life and what filled that life and the understanding of that world that you are living in is completely different than the next. And I think that's always been the case, but with the advent of the last 100 years with technology, starting out in the early 1900s with the industrial boom, machines, what used to take my great-grandfather a horse to do, a machine started doing that my grandfather worked on. And then from what machines did, industrial machines, then we come into the 70s and 80s and computers come on the scene, and cable TV and different things where it was just radio. Now it's television. Now it's not just television. It's all of this. So our communication and our media and all of that. And then you come into my generation where I was raised in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the internet comes on, and then the internet comes on and it gives way to social media. And so all of those changes, and I don't want to get into sociology so much because I would be speaking outside of my depth here, but you have to appreciate the impact and influence it has on the different generations and the understanding of any given subject or matter. And so what we as Gen Xers or people, under Gen X, understand because of being around right when the internet came up or always having the internet, is I don't appreciate, like for instance, my kids, they see something on the internet, they all laugh because nothing is real. And they don't think anything is real as far as they're so, and that's not criticism, but there is a whole meme culture out there that has conditioned most young people to say, well, it's just talk. It's just people trying to be funny or people trying to start something. They're what's the word? They're trolling. And that's such a new, you take me, my parents' generation, my parents' generation, if the guy wore a stethoscope and a lab coat, then he was speaking with the voice of God. That was authority. That was just my generation started because of things happening with medication and seeing adverse effects in our children and stuff like that. We started getting really, really questioning medicine and people in lab coats and stuff like that. And just like, not that we're completely anti this or anti that. It's just like, let's think about it. Let's not just take it for, what someone says, but we want to put due diligence behind it. That was our attitude. And then the younger generation, they go one extreme or the other. I kid my kids because they have these terms that are meant to be sort of poking. You've probably heard it. Oh, you're just a boomer. You a boomer? Well, and that's to poke back at maybe that generation poking at them about being pod eating, know nothing, whatever. So I get it. It's amazing. I told someone the other day, I says, it's like you got two sides. We got this generation just throwing bombs at this and this, and we're sort of sitting here in the middle, just like a tennis match, But the irony of it is they're so much alike. They are so much alike in so many different ways they don't see it. But I said all that to say this. You might be taking for granted, certain things that you see online. It's like no one would fall for that. And I'm telling you, people can and will. And there's some scams online right now that you want to be cognizant of. They're phishing scams that they impersonate people They will even put up a graphic and make it look like there's somebody that person or that community will know and trust. Now they're using AI's voice modeling to even model that person's voice and send out messages asking for money, asking for this. And so I just want to tell you, if you have family that may be older that have always trusted people because it was raised when you could trust the media. You know, when Walter Cronkite came on and said this is the news, and that's the news, then you took it. That's what it was. That generation didn't have any reason to believe that someone would be on there lying about the assassination of a president or anything else. Boy, haven't we figured out things are not what they seem. But that was the attitude. And so because of that very open, very trusting, very, attitude of, people don't lie. And when people do, they're found out and they're done away with. There's people out there that, as you know, that listen to this podcast, they lie. And so if you have loved ones, please, please, please tell them, there's people out there that are acting like there's somebody that they're not. There's people out there that are doing these phishing. Educate your family on these phishing scams, on these scams that will act like they're tech support or something of that nature, or act like they are a pastor that they might trust or a community leader they might trust, and use everything they can to separate them from their money. And let them know also that if something is coming from the government that's in regards to their benefits, that it will come from the government in the mail. That the government may use these electronic, I'm not saying they don't, but they definitely don't send them PMs and DMs through social media. That's just not the way. And it's always going to be coming in a verified way. And it always mentions their names and basic information. And even now is requesting PIN numbers and stuff. So never, ever, ever, fill out anything or say anything or give any information away, based on people acting like that. Now, for some of you, you're like, oh, duh. But I'm telling you, if you're saying duh, if you're saying, oh, you have been conditioned to be cynical and suspect because you don't come from that area where, hey, they're wearing a lab coat and stethoscope. That's Walter Cronkite. I'm telling you, it's just different attitudes, and we got to understand that, appreciate that, and give warning to that. Generations, man, I tell you, it's a different thing. But one thing that has excited me about generations, because we hear so much negative all the time about young people and younger generations and older. I mean, we hear the negative, at least I do. Maybe it's just me, but it's because I have a family and a circle that goes from the youngest generation all the way up to the oldest generation. And we're all people that like to talk, engage in conversation, have ideas, have our own philosophical approaches, infused by our own theological understanding. So it can sometimes be a very fun dialogue in the Wilson household and in the Wilson community and surrounding. But one thing that I want to tell you that has just been so exciting in the last 2 or 3 weeks that I wanted to share with you. And by the way, I want to say thank you to the entrepreneurial class of the Hark group. They just sent me a thank you there. That I was able to speak with them a couple weeks ago on entrepreneurialism, and it just warmed my heart. It's sitting back here on my desk. Thank you so much for that. It encourages me. It encourages me to see so many young people that have taken the idea that I want to educate myself, I want to develop a skill set, I want to get credentials. Yeah, because I want to get a job, but more importantly, maybe I want to create a job as well. Oh man, that is just awesome. Entrepreneurialism is alive and well. And I'm telling you, we need more and more young entrepreneurs, business owners, small business owners, risk takers out there that's saying, I am willing to put my fortune, family, and future on the line to build a better community, a better business, a better way of doing business. Because this is a discussion I've had in my family and with other people. And I don't know if you've had the same experiences, but I have worked for big corporations and I've worked for small mom and pops. I'll take mom and pops all day long. And I think most people if given the choice, if they could work for a small knit group where you're not just a number, but you're a person of value, that you speak into that organization, that you're a vital part of it, that you're wanted, that you're treated fairly. Who wouldn't want that over going into a cubicle, being a number, and you could be downsized tomorrow? You're nothing more than a cog in the wheel. So to the extent that people are really going after and thinking, and they're young people thinking about how I can not only get a job, but be a job creator, God love you, and I thank you, and I thank that group. And also just got in some reviews this morning from Aline and her group down there at Lemonade U down in Lexington, South Carolina. Was able to speak with them a week ago and on their Saturday event. And this is an organization, I think they were based out of Texas, and now they're worldwide, or at least nationwide that I know of. And they teach young people, how to start a lemonade stand from start to finish, everything you need to know to start your own business. And let's start with using a lemonade stand as an example. How to source it, how to locate it, how to do everything else. I was able to go down there and share with them about being an entrepreneur and the 3 things you need to be successful in entrepreneurialism. And it was a wonderful, wonderful time as well. So those were all the things that I did in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And it was a wonderful, wonderful time. Also, hey, I got to go up and see Mom last week up in Virginia, spend some time with her. Unfortunately got sick, and so was really sitting on the couch for about 2 or 3 days just because of not feeling well. I think we went out to a restaurant that bit me back. I'll just say that. But it was a great time. So we had that. When we get back, I want to talk to you about tariffs. Just talk to you a little bit about, what they are, how will they affect you, what do you need to know about them as a small business owner, how can you plan for it? Do you need to be nervous? Should you be nervous? All of those things, and how we can all position ourselves to prosper, by these changes, because change does nothing but bring opportunity, and opportunity, it gives us nothing but a moment in time and different avenue streams that we can leverage to make a difference and to make more money as we bring more value. So we'll look at that when we get back right after this.
Please, folks, I know you're tempted to, but do not panic. Terry and the TW3 broadcast will be back right after this extreme profitable timeout for our sponsors.
When words are not enough to really show your heart.
When you want to send more than just words, send your best, send your blessing, send a gift that speaks to the heart.
Flower shop. When feelings need demonstrated right from.
Go to Blessed Blooms Flower Shop and Gifts.com to have Amy design a special message, gift, or arrangement for you today.
Flower shop. Blessed blooms.
Give a gift that speaks to the heart. From flowers to specialized gifts.
Blessed blooms Flower Shop and Gifts.
Call today, 864-702-3307. That's 864-702-3307.
flowershopandgifts.com.
This is why you need Bishop Pest Control. Tired of pesky invaders? We've got you covered. Meet Bishop Pest Control, your local upstate South Carolina heroes. We're experts in kicking out termites, ants, roaches, and more. Our team of trained pest assassins will make sure your home is pest-free, fast, and efficiently. Imagine a home without those creepy crawlies keeping you up at night. Sounds great, right? With years of experience under our belts, you can trust us to keep your home safe and comfortable. No more unwelcome visitors that aren't family. Visit GetBishopPestControl.com today and let's banish those pests for good. Bishop Pest Control, protecting your home, one pest at a time. Remember, a pest-free home is a happy home, so what are you waiting for? Go to GetBishopPestControl.com now.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
All right, we're back. Let's talk tariffs. One of the things I would encourage you to do, if you've not done this, it would be advisable, because whether you agree with the politics of it or not, I found that Scott Bessent's talk on the latest Tucker Carlson show was so informative, talking about what tariffs are and what their mindset is about it. Now, you might not agree with it. You might totally disagree with it, saying this is hogwash or whatever your favorite pejorative is. But at least you would get in the mindset of what the goals are and what they are expecting, and understand and get away from the heat, because everybody's throwing bombs. Everybody's wanting to score political points. In full transparency, I am conflicted. I come from a school of thought in the 80s. My favorite president was Reagan, supply side economics. I have always thought that the way you justify keeping the tax down on businesses was because otherwise it would just pass through to the consumer, the whole trickle down disparaging comment. And so I'm trying to wrap my mind around how making, the cost of doing business more expensive, how it helps the consumer and the business. Now, I get some of the changes. So there is some nuance here, because this is a cost driver that is redispersing in a different way. So I understand the nuances here and how it's different. But, this interview did a lot for me, and I hope it does for you. I mean, here's a little snippet of it.
But do you think that the people who are hoping that yesterday's move will lead to a demonstrably brighter future within 4 years, is it your sincere prediction that within 4 years we'll say, actually, that kind of worked?
I believe that it's going to work, and I know that what we were doing wasn't working.
Yes.
So I think we have to try this, and I have a high confidence ratio it's going to work. I'm not happy with what's going on in the market today, but the distribution of equities across households, the top 10% of Americans own 88% of equities, 88% of the stock market. The next 40% owns 12% of the stock market. The bottom 50 has debt. They have credit card bills. They rent their homes. They have auto loans, and we've got to give them some relief.
That's the message.
So one of the things he said, and it got clipped in this particular outtake here, that I just thought was an amazing stat. In 2024, he was quoting some governmental department of numbers. In 2024, more Americans went on expensive European vacations than ever before in 2024. In the same year of 2024, more Americans required certain help with food expenses, and I don't know what he was quoting there, but it was like there were two tracks going on at the same time that was going on, which meant that the disparity between those who are doing well and those who are not doing well is getting wider and wider and wider. And that's why you have, in my humble opinion, this visceral reaction to changes, because some are doing well right now, some are not. People feel it. And the question is, how do we, as individual business owners and small business people, how do we do well, and how do we do well by others? And so I just want to give you a few things on tariffs, so that if you're like me, and I'm not saying you are, I'm more than likely you're way better than me in everything. But one of the things that I'm a marketer, I'm a business person. I come up with concepts and ideas, but the nuances of economics and stuff like that, while I understand it from a 80,000 foot macro view, the intricacies of it, I'm not going to be an expert. And so sometimes when these guys are talking, I'm just like, well, I want this goal, and what you're saying makes sense to me, but I don't, I'm just going to have to wait and hold a reservation and judgment. But here was some things that just brought up that I thought would be good for you as the small business person to understand. What is a tariff? By definition, a tariff is a tax or duties placed on imported goods to protect domestic industries or generate government revenue. See, there's two types, and I didn't know this, two types of tariffs. There's protective tariffs. This shields domestic industries from cheaper foreign goods, i.e. steel tariffs of 2002. That was a protective tariff. And then there's revenue tariffs. Revenue tariffs are designed to generate income for the government. Example of that would be Alexander Hamilton in 1789. So here's some historical context. A tariff in 1789, Alexander Hamilton was the first major economic policy. That's what he did. Provided revenue for the U.S. government and protected the American industry, the Native American industries, people that was doing business here. It generated about 90%. That was just amazing to me. It generated about 90% of the federal revenue during the early years of the Republic because of this move by Alexander Hamilton and his revenue tariffs that he put in. Smoot-Hawley tariff, the act in 1930, raised U.S. tariffs on over 20,000 imported goods to protect American agriculture and manufacturing, and contributed to the international trade retaliation worsening the Great Depression. So tariffs done wrongly and at the wrong time, historically, what we can see, has had a negative impact. Steel tariffs in 2002 was imposed by President George W. Bush to protect the U.S. steel manufacturers, temporary boost for the steel industry, but it did have a hurt on sectors dependent on cheap steel, i.e. automakers. So here again, a tariff can give and a tariff can take away, so we have to understand that. In the U.S.-China trade war of 2018 and 2020, high tariffs imposed on Chinese goods and impacting worldwide range of industries led to $3 billion per month in losses for the U.S. companies, according to the National Bureau of Economics Research. Encouraged 7.8% of affected companies to diversify their supply chains, Federal Reserve's study. So in that instance, it did have a financial negative impact for its season, but then 7.8% of those affected reallocated their sourcing to bring growth back into the businesses of the U.S. So here again, it's basically shuffling where the money and how the money is coming and distributed. So that's a little bit of understanding historically what's happened. So here's some economic impact on small businesses. Positive effects. Protection of domestic industries from foreign competition. It's an opportunity to promote Made in USA branding and gain market share. And it's an example of 1980 tariffs on Japanese cars briefly benefited U.S. automakers there for quite a while. Here's some negative effects. It can increase the cost of imported goods, of course, as we're understanding that. In 2018, washing machine tariffs, for example, consumers paid about $86 per unit more, according to one study. And it reduces profit margins for businesses reliant on foreign materials. So here again, I think, and this is the rub, who's concerned about the profit margins of these major businesses? Well, of course, the business owners of these large businesses and the shareholders. Who's not concerned? People, the blue-collar guys looking and gals looking for higher paying wages. So this is where this divide, and this is where that whole conversation that I heard with Scott Bessent went, and it was just he broke it down in such a clear, concise way that made, it is taking from Wall Street, but it's putting money back on Main Street. And I think for you small businesses out there, small business owners and people in small businesses, from what I was understanding, it was encouraging. So here are some adaptive strategies. Oxford Economic Study said 57% of companies adjusted their supply chain strategy due to the tariff. So there's some adaptive strategies. Diversification of supplies, renegotiating contracts, and passing costs to consumers are common tactics. Opportunity for local manufacturers to replace foreign suppliers. So what you could be seeing, you small business owner and entrepreneurs out there, is this could be an opportunity for you to launch certain businesses to be the new supplier. For instance, here in the upstate of South Carolina, with the BMW and car manufacturing and those up there, there's all different types of things that go into supplying cars and the manufacturing of them and what needs to be placed, right down to the cloth that goes on over the seat cushion. So there's all kinds of things that may be opening up new opportunities. And that's not to try to put, lipstick on a pig, as they say, but that's just to be sober about the thing, that there's some disruption going on here. But let's look at the disruption and see if there's opportunities here where we can, as entrepreneurs, capitalize on it. So here's some practical tips for small business owners. Monitor the supply chains. Identify which products or materials are most affected by the tariffs. This might be that, for example, when I was in the piano business, I wanted to sell pianos online. The problem is the only people that moved pianos nationwide were big carriers like Keyboard Carriage and Yellow Freight, and that was dock to dock. They did not go dock to consumer. It wasn't a B2C model. Because why? You can't slap a stamp on a piano and put it in the mailbox, as I used to joke. It has to have someone that goes from a dock to a home. And how do you get a piano across country? And so there was a whole new distribution and fulfillment strategy we had to put in place. But because it wasn't there, I was able to I wasn't in the trucking business. I wasn't in that space at all. But because the supply chain at that point wasn't even there, I was able to create something. My point is this: you might be in a business where there's a supply chain disruption, but that supply chain disruption might be the very thing that you can start integrating vertically into your offering to bring even more revenue into your business. So be thinking strategically in those matters and in that mindset. Research alternative supplies, if not becoming the one. This is what I'm saying. Another practical tip is branding advantage. Capitalize on consumer interest in American-made products. Highlight most productions as a unique selling point. Strategic planning. Negotiate long-term contracts with suppliers to stabilize cost and build cost increases into your pricing strategy if necessary. But now's the time to go ahead and let's map this out for a year or two. Stay informed. Track policy changes and global trade developments. Anticipate shifts in tariffs policy by preparing backup plans for critical supplies. So those are just some ideas, practical, common sense things. But my major takeaway in listening to Scott the other day and thinking about this, and tariffs mean nothing for what I do in marketing and in web development, graphic design, and podcast producing and all the other things that we do. It's all digital. It's all service based. There's not a physical product here, or is there? Coming up, we might have physical products. But my point is this: as someone who used to be in an industry that had a manufactured good from overseas and had distribution channels in country here, and everything in that whole model was always up and down and disrupted in different things. There are strategic planning you can do, and if you can think ahead, that don't just, whether you're on the right or left of this issue, don't just assume based on a political narrative. That's not good business. Good business is seeing it for what it is, not the spin on the ball, but where the ball is coming. Okay, you might need to, in baseball, knowing the spin knows the direction, but at the end of the day, it is where it is. So you have to hit the ball where it is, not where you think it's going to be. And so just think in those strategic terms, and don't just in your mindset assume things that's going to alter the mechanics of the way you do business to where you're missing some opportunities. Because what I'm seeing come down the pipeline could be a very opportunistic for a lot of strategic thinking business, small business leaders and stuff like that. New stuff at TW3 that are physical goods that I alluded to. We have a new store, new swag. We're selling. Yes, we're getting into it, but we're having so much fun over here. And the reason I'm doing it is twofold. One, it's something that we're doing for our own business because there's all kinds of sayings, cliches, fun that we have over here. And if you want to support the show, the store, or the business and what we do and the mindset training we do and all the things that we do over here, we've got a new store that's got the hats and it's got motivational things on it. It's got funny things on some of our shirts. It's got some wall art that you can hang up to stay motivated, and we're putting more up. And a lot of the one-liners and stuff came out of the book. One of my favorite ones, the ones I'm highlighting right now, it says, "I'm not broke. It's just my customer still has my money." And that comes from my book, talking about a good salesperson is never, you might have a cash flow issue, but you never broke. Because at the end of the day, if you got leads, if you got customers, and you have a product that you believe in, you're never broke. It's just a matter of closing the deal. You're not broke. It's just you don't have your money yet. Go get your money, which means close the deal. So a little inside sales stuff, that don't resonate with everybody. But I know for salespeople and hustlers out there, like yours truly and others that subscribe to the hustle culture and are not turned off by it by so many, it's a great little thing. So we got that over there. Check that out. Pick that shirt up if you like it. Support entrepreneurialism and promote self employment in what we do here. But the great stuff over there at terrywilson3.com/store. You can go there and see all of our shirts and our swags and our journals that we're putting in there and coffee cups and different things. And so this has just been cathartic as far as just being able to laugh and create and have some fun. But that twofold, I'm doing that just, because I wanted my own store to have some fun, a little, vanity project a little bit. But number two, because I'm really honing in on designs and how to structure this and integrate this with our CRM system and a TW3 system and billing system and all of that I'm going to be folding this in to some of the things we offer here at TW3. So we can, when someone wants to launch a home-based business, they have, plug and play, boom, right out of the gate, can start selling online all different types of products, physical products, virtual products. They can give stuff away. So all of the things and all of the opportunities to earn income here at TW3, this is just going to be one more plug and play right there out of the box. And so we're developing that right now in the background and stuff. And so I'm doing it for myself so I can then do it for my members later on. So that's the twofold thing that we're doing there. But hey, in the meantime, go over to terrywilson3.com/store and grab one of those. It's really, really, really cool. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. We covered a lot of stuff, but the big thing, the tariffs, I know it's in the news everywhere. I know everyone's talking about it. I know it's consuming the bandwidth of a lot of people's emotion, and I get it. There's a lot of things that, in full transparency, time out, I'm conflicted by it. I could stand on either side and argue it. So I don't throw stones at people that are against it, and I don't throw stones at people that are for it. My position, it was just sort of like I take a wait and see, and more importantly, go ahead and be ready. Go ahead and put myself in a position to where, I can bring value no matter how this thing folds, how this thing works. I mean, in all honesty, I pray to God everything that President Trump is doing works out, not because I'm pro-Trump, even though I am, but more importantly, I'm pro-America. I just want the country to do well. I want people that don't like him to do well. I want people that like him to do well. I want anybody that is willing to get up and put one foot in front of the other and try to do better for themselves, try to do better for their family, try to do better for everyone else. I want you to do well. And because of that, I am pulling for, not because I want my ideas to be validated or I want to be right. It's I want success for everyone, because I believe, a rising tide causes all boats to come on up. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I will see you next time.
So we hope you've got a lot out of the content today. Please take a few minutes to give us a 5-star positive review at terrywilson3.com/review. This helps us promote our content and continue to reach more and more people. Again, thanks for being part of the TW3 community here at terrywilson3.com. Please like and share our content, and we will see you soon.
Running a business is tough. Your to-do list never ends, and the phone keeps ringing. What if you could focus on your daily operations without worrying about missed calls? At TW3, we've got you covered with our 24/7 call answering service, starting at just $25 per month. Here's how it works. When your phone rings, our team answers every call, takes the caller's name, number, email, and reason for calling. We can even handle basic customer support, answering frequently asked questions about your business, or book appointments for you right on the spot. But it doesn't stop there. We'll immediately send you a text or email with all the details so you can follow up at your convenience if needed. Our service also filters out spam calls, giving you more time to focus on what really matters, growing your business. And here's the best part. With 24/7 availability, your customers get the help they need anytime, day or night, leaving a lasting impression of professionalism and care. Don't let missed calls slow you down. Call us at 864-507-9696 to schedule a quick demo and see how our award-winning service can work for you. Your time is valuable. Let us help you protect it.